Remembering Big today. It's March 9th. Boy Carcino here for Carcino for Life channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the page. Blessings to all of you out there. This is the day that everybody normally remembers. Wasn't as a good day back when this happened in 97. It was totally like diminished my entire thoughts, everything. It was man, just wasn't an ideal situation, you know what I'm saying? So I look at it as it's heavy. It's a real heavy day, you know, when you think about that, because everybody focuses in on that night and what happened and who was there and who was in the car and the party. I don't like to do that. I feel that's been done and done. You know, none of it's going to make anything any better. So let's talk about the other things that was happening that we were robbed of as fans. The Commission album. Now, the Commission was not going to have Junior Mafia in it. The Snakes and all those guys were completely cut off from working with Biggie. The only people that he was working with was Little C's and Little Kim. Those were the only two people out of Junior Mafia he was working with at the time. And was like, that's what I'm working with. Now, when the rest of those other guys get themselves together, he would work with them, maybe. But as of right now, he was done. This was the team moving forward. He had Jay-Z on board, who was going to be known as Iceberg Slim when he rapped on the Commission album. He wasn't going to be Jay-Z anymore. Yeah, that was going to be he was going to be Jay-Z on Rockefeller, but on the Commission album, he wasn't going to rap as Jay-Z the rapper. He was going to basically just do the Commission. Now, there was a lot of problems trying to get this project together because Dame Dash and Rockefeller Records, like, they all looking at who finna pay for what, who's finna be where, what album, what label, you know, is this gonna be on? You know, Dame wasn't too happy with this Commission album situation at all. Didn't think it was necessary. So when you see, you know, all the things that were made up about the situation as far as, you know, where was Big gonna be as far as an artist and how this was gonna hurt Rockefeller Records, because, you know, Dame's paying close attention to the relationship with Big and Jay. So Dame's talking about, oh, Biggie was gonna join Rockefeller Records. That was never going to happen. Let me tell you, never going to happen. Biggie was not. Everybody keeps saying he's about to leave Bad Boy Records. Oh my God. What Biggie wanted to do, which he had already done, was start his own imprint. Okay, when he was with they had a record label together where he was able to create with Junior Mafia and do things like that. He was making more money doing features than he was basically on his Ready to Die album. He made way more off features, just doing a 16. He was cool with that. So when you look at all the things of detail, like for the productions and people that was working with Big that he was close with, most of these dudes had a connection with him by being mostly East Coast and, had that East Coast sound that he normally, gravitated to. When you got Clark Kent, you got Buck Wild, you had all of these people that he was, attached to, who knew what Big liked to rap to, the whole nine. So when Biggie said that he wanted to come out with his own label and his own imprint and all these things, he was keeping that mostly in-house, but telling some people, Puff knew that he wanted to start his own thing, and Puff didn't, feel a certain way about it, but Big was happy as he just earned a new deal. Puff just got him doing a 30-city tour, getting 30 G's a show. Back then, that's 30 G's a show was huge for a rapper. You know, like rap, people think what rap is now, that was made based on the strength of Biggie. Biggie made the type of records that made people want to dance. He could make those records like More Money, More Problem. He was finna. Do you imagine if Big was alive when that album dropped? What that tour would have been like? That album alone catapulted Mace. That was a whole come out party for Mace. Mace and Puff. That built their careers for 2 albums down the road. So Charlie Baltimore, Little Kim, and all of these things that was happening in the commission. Now, the problem started when Little Kim and Charlie Baltimore on the commission album. That problem was starting to ensue because Puffy had just signed, Little Kim over with him. Puff Big just did that transition, bringing her over. Her, and then she signed Little C's. Puffy didn't sign Little C's. Little Kim got her label and she signed Little C's. Puff never signed C's at all. So Little Kim did that. She signed and brought Little C's over to her label and put out and produced and did everything to put out his album. But beforehand, big problem was he was still sleeping around with Little Kim. Faith was out the picture at this time. She was like completely out of the picture. They had one hookup throughout that whole breakup. Like they would meet up certain times and like they had one hookup, and that's how CJ, like she was saying that CJ came from that one hookup. But he was with Charlie at the time and not with Kim. But he would still mess with Kim every now and then. It's just how Big was. But he's messing up business because now you have made her Big Mama of the commission. Like you Big Mama. Like I look where you at. You're not where you used to be anymore. Like if you don't understand what I'm talking about, listen to the song on R. Kelly's record album, Be Happy. That whole verse is about Little Kim. It was not about, that song was not about Charlie Baltimore. That song was about Lil Kim. And it wasn't about Faith. Lil Kim was mad at Big because Big kept cheating on her. And she never understood why Big didn't want her. Big knew I can have Lil Kim whenever I want. And because he knew that, because he had about a brain, he could, because she needed that approval. She needed that. He was like a father figure to her, and brought her out, gave her the self confidence to go out on stage and rip and do all this. And every guy she's dated since then has been that type of person, like dangerous, but father figure, leadership, alpha type of personality. So she was used to that. But again, this is bad for business. Jay-Z came and presented this to Big. Said, Big, this is getting to be a problem. Like this is a problem. Like Charlie going, and Big didn't see it as a problem. Big, man, F these bees, like she gonna drop her verse, then Kim come in on her day and drop her verse. I don't see a problem. We drop an album, it blow, they go their separate ways, we do a tour. Once they see this money, they're gonna fall in line. Jay was like, alright, say no more. So that was it, but Jay saw the problem early, because Jay is like, the chaos is not good for this type of process, because he want the commission to be Biggie and him. That's who he thought the commission would be, featuring everybody else. And he was like, I don't want to be in the mix of a band of misfits, is what he's trying to say. Like, I'm like, when they had the discussion, he's like, I'm not trying to be Junior Mafia. Like, I'm Iceberg Slim, and me and you, we run in the city. That's what the commission's about. Like, we mob figures, you the Don, I'm the capo, like thing. So that's how they had it. That he cool with that. Like Jay was like, I'm cool with being the capo and you Biggie the Don. That's cool. Let's do that and play off that notion. But I don't want to be on the same level as all these other people, like Little C's and all that. I'm not finna do Junior Mafia. I'm here to do the commission. And Biggie assured him how how he saw the vision of all this going to play out. And he told Jay, he said, Kim's going to be on my one side. She's Big Mama. She's the queen. Big Papa, Big Mama. So that's her. She the Big Mama. Charlie Baltimore, she's like the assassin, the hit mommy. She's one of the roughest chicks in the game. She's got rugged, you could put her anywhere. With any group, she could fit in and hold her own. That's her. That's going to be her role. Even though in real life, he was like, in real life, Christopher is with Charlie Baltimore. He's like, we a couple in real life. In the commission, she's the hit mommy. I'm the boss. Kim is Big Mama. So that's how, this is an order. Little C's is like a hitman, in other words. And everybody else is just ancillary, producers, whatever. But we're the guys that's going to carry the weight. It's not going to be any confusion. Jay was cool with it because everybody was in the mafioso realm. So the structure was there. But now, who's finna create this, the budget for it? Where they gonna get the money? Bad Boy is willing to give Biggie his label, under another umbrella. Big could go sign with anybody once his deal was up. But he just restructured his contract to be with Puff. He owes them all these records that he signed with the thing, but he's restructured a deal which is going to keep him paid. That's why I don't understand what people keep talking about Biggie's broke, Biggie's broke, Biggie's broke. Biggie owed money, Biggie spent money, but Biggie had money coming back in. Puff would throw him on. Puff would get him to do a 16 for somebody, 112 or whatever, and jump on that record. And he getting paid $300K just for that. Seriously. People didn't realize how much money it was in singles at that time. Big made, like dropping singles, they were like album sales. Singles weren't doing album sales numbers before Biggie. Like they weren't like breaking millions of records, just people buying the single. Once you start remixing records and you putting the remix out on a maxi single, less cost in production, more value, and you're really selling it for $6.99, $7.99. You're not just selling the one song. So you're making your money that way. Big had it all structured to how the situation was going to go. Like I said, he was in tow with all the beat makers, because everybody had a beat for Biggie. Oh, we got this beat, man. I got to get it to Big, man. Big will love this. And all the beats that they were bringing to Big is not what he liked because they didn't understand him. And they was like, man, this sounds just like, man, Big Papa. I thought he'd be ready to jump on that. Big will bob his head, listen to it, be like, yeah, it's good. But wouldn't rap to it at all. It's not that he liked the beat, he just didn't feel it. So when they was talking about bringing producers in and, for the Commission album, Jay, he was telling Jay, like, what did he think about Clark Kent? So he was like, yeah, we're going to have Clark come in. We can get Clark Kent in there. And him and, Jay, they both love Clark Kent. Now, when it came to using the Hitman and Puff, they wanted certain people out of the Hitman that they liked and wanted to work with. Like Easy LP, they wanted to get at least one or two tracks from him. Definitely, because like what Big says, this guy's gold. He said, this guy, he gave my beat to Nas. If I ruled the world, Biggie was gonna do that record. And he was mad that track went to Nas. Trackmasters and Easy LP, he was like, dude, what's going on here? And then Ringo, that's Biggie's guy. Like, he loves Big. Like Big loved him, Ringo. He was like, man, we bring Ringo in, do a joint, get LL, Cool J, put LL on the record, Ringo and LL, we can, that's it. We can just do it that way, and that'll be that. So they love this type of like union. Like Ringo is from like I believe he's Jamaican and Haitian or whatever from Brooklyn. Ringo is like one of the best producers in the world, and nobody talks about him. If I'm not mistaken, I think he did Doing It, Lounging, all these records. Nobody talks about him. I'm serious. These are two. Him and Easy LP are easily probably two of the best beat makers of the '90s. Everybody talks about Primo and everybody. They never talk about these two individuals, and I don't understand why. Didn't he do the Buster song? Booyah! Booyah! Got you all in check. Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, this dude had hits after hits. Easy LP did the Get Money on the Junior Mafia album. The first one, the original joint. So the album was gonna be crazy. But it was all the fight on who and what label. Rockefeller label was gonna be on there because they had Jay, and Puff and Bad Boy was gonna be on the label, plus the imprint that Biggie was gonna come out with his label, and Jay looking at this as an avenue to switch. If Iceberg Slim would have popped off the way they wanted to, that was it. If he could have popped off with Iceberg Slim, that was it. I mean, Jay had his rhymes ready to go to record for sessions. Like his recording sessions and everything else, they had everything basically set. He was going to do the Commission album. Then he was going to do another album with Bad Boy in '98. And that was the beats that you hear on American Gangster. That Dreamin' song, that Marvin Gaye, those beats were being prepared for Biggie. That was gonna be on the next Biggie Smalls album. That, No Hook, Sweet, all of those beats were prepared for Big. That was one truthful thing Puff said. But yeah, those beats were prepared for Big for his third album. Cause they always had some, like, he loved that Marvin Gaye beat. The Marvin Gaye beat almost made it to when he heard that. Oh man, Big was ready to get down. Big would have killed that way better than Jay did on American Dream. Oh yeah, Big would have tore that up. You could just imagine what he would have did to it. That'd have been another monster. No Hook, another monster. Big on that record. That'd have been a monster. Um, the other song, Sweet. Big would have tore that up. Those are three records right there. Big would have went to town on. He'd have tore them up. Those are his speed. He'd have tore those right up. People always wonder and ask, what about Jay and the difference between Jay and Big? Big was vicious. Jay don't have a viciousness in his rhymes. He gets off on being clever. That's his viciousness. He just like, I'm the smartest guy in the room, type of vibe. Big is just the bully, dominant, come on over the top of you. He's Shaq. Boom. He's Shaq in the whole situation, just over the top, dominant. Just want to dominate you in the rhyme. So that's just how he got down. Yeah, we lost a great one. One of the greatest MCs ever. I mean, I go back and listen to some of Big Rhymes and be like, damn. I knew how good he was when he had my cousin, like, all right, yeah, he ill. Yeah, that's dope. Because he's a young dude, young kid, and he listening to a rhyme from 1997, 96, 97. He can't even listen to old rap. I don't like old rap. If it ain't Wayne and Drizzy, that's his thing there. He came up in the Wayne Drizzy era. If it wasn't that, oh, he wasn't feeling it. He listened to Big and said, "Okay, yeah, yeah, he good. He's real good. He can make any generation of rap feel him. That's that's talent. That's a gift. That's special." So yeah, for the producers, you're gonna be looking at Easy LP. You had Ringo, Stevie J was another producer that they was using for the album. Clark Kent, and those are just the four that I know for sure that was gonna be producing on the album. I'm quite sure they was gonna probably have some guest producers, but those guys I knew for sure were gonna be on the album. I don't know about Moby, but he probably would have, but I don't know. I can't tell you for certain. We don't know how much they would have got for the budget. See, you got to realize Jay-Z wasn't Jay-Z at that time. He had a record that didn't even go gold. Reasonable Doubt was out and it was some cool stuff for the hood, but it didn't sell at all. It didn't move at all. It wasn't distributed, wasn't with Def Jam. It was basically an independent album and it wasn't really distributed the right way that it should have. It got critical acclaim, but it wasn't at that time. Reasonable Doubt just wasn't it. So it's not Jay's fault. People caught on late. So at that time, Jay-Z was just some guy. So Tupac was gonna make him bigger than life, and he basically did by mentioning him in a rhyme. Even though those rhymes didn't come out till after he was passed away, but by him mentioning Jay-Z, and the light that he did, it was like, whoa, what's this? So that's why, but he was like, man, like, wow, he was viciously against me. But Pac was only doing that because he teamed up with Big. Anybody who was going up against him at that time or trying to help him out, he considered that you were an enemy of me. So that's how it had to be. But as far as him personally, he was like, no, you ain't ready. But all that throwing little shots on the album, talking about the West Coast and all that, yeah, he picked up on all of it. Pac picked up on it immediately. Like, oh, you trying to blindly do it. Throw little sly comments. But yeah, he was like, well, you gonna get it too. The budget would have went mostly to production. That's why you see a producer, you be like, man, why don't he just do a whole album with him? That costs money. Some producers are very expensive, and you can get this basically the same type of what you want out of somebody who's cheaper. They just don't have the name appeal. So you might can get an awesome track from a person that is not as known. Look at where Ether came from. You see what I'm saying? So you can. It's all about the budget for your album. Like you get Primo, his budget is probably astronomical compared to somebody else. Don't forget to hit the like button, people. Subscribe to the page. Hope I ain't boring you talking hip hop. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, subscribe to the page. Hit that Patreon up. Carcino for Life on the Patreon. It's been a lot going on this week. Tax time, fellas. We got about 6 days to finish taxes. Let's get it. For your business taxes, rather. Most people didn't understand that Biggie was Big was slowing down. He was gonna take a break and go into movies. Big had 2 movie scripts where he was gonna play a mob boss in the film, and he died before that even came the full circle. But he was offered a movie role in 2 different movies that was coming out in New York. He was happy about that. His accident really hurt him, as far as mobility. Before that, Big could run. Like he could run. By him having to lay up all those months and, rehabilitate his leg, he didn't do it right, because he's a big guy and he just got bigger. And that's just going to put more weight on his leg than need be, so. So that's that. um, Man, any more questions? We'll do it on the Patreon. Other than that, I'm out.